Welcome to Cinemophile, where we bring you the best in independent, documentary, and foreign films, and we talk to the people who made them. I'm your host, Mike Caspar, and you can find out more about the program by going to cinemophilepod.com. In the immersive documentary Never Stop Chasing, legendary storm chaser Reed Timmer pursues a life hunting the world's most violent weather, haunted by the tragic death of his mentor, Tim Samaras, in the historic 2013 El Reno tornado. The sudden loss of his best friend and close partner, Joel Taylor, as well. Reed's life takes on an edge and with a severe emotional toll. Never Stop Chasing. We're joined today by the director, Ken Cole, as well as the subject, Reed Timmer. To both of you, welcome to Cinemophile.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, normally this would be the part where I say something to the director about what a great documentary this is, but we are joining Reed as he is literally doing his job as a storm chaser. Where are you right now?
I'm just east of Bloomington, Illinois. We just got hammered by a big windbag, as we call it, a straight line wind event. A tornado possible with us, some rotating curtains, about 80-mile-per-hour winds back there, but I'm having trouble keeping up with it. It's gusted out and racing off to the east, but it so happened to hit where we were in Bloomington, where I'm doing this interview. So from inside of a storm, we're talking about Never Stop Chasing the movie, yes. And we're trying to never stop chasing as well.
By the way, is this storm looking like Category 3, 4? What are we looking at in terms of the possibilities here?
Well, this is a severe storm that I'm on right now. So it has a severe thunderstorm warning, a destructive tag on it, but it has flattened some of the corn out here in the beautiful corn belt, which is sad to see because the corn definitely looks healthy out here. But I don't think we'll see anything like what you'll see in the movie with the EF4 plus tornado in Greenfield, Iowa, and being in the Dominator 3, being inside of a tornado. I'm just in my pickup truck, so I can't intercept the tornadoes today.
So no traveling by Dominator today. Okay. Let me go back to the director of Never Stop Chasing, Ken Cole. How did this all come about? How did you get to know Reed Timmer, and et cetera, et cetera? This is amazing. This footage is amazing. Tell me a little bit about the origin story here.
Well, Reed and I actually went to college together at the University of Oklahoma, and I started in meteorology, and we both got our bachelor's. And he was always talked about with awe by the other college students. He was really good at the science, but he would get so close to tornadoes. And so we collaborated on a documentary, Tornado Glory, that was on PBS back in 2003. We shot that documentary. And then every 5 to 10 years, we've come back. We did Tornado Chasers. That was a series. And then now we've come back to do Never Stop Chasing, which is the first time we've done really a blockbuster level theatrical film that really puts you in the Dominator. We finished it at Universal Studios and Dolby Vision, and we had the amazing sound team at Studio Post at Universal really give you that experience of being inside a tornado. So we're very excited for audiences to see this.
You know, I have to say, Reed, I have very little true understanding or appreciation for what you're going through. I will say, though, I lived in the foothills of Los Angeles. We used to get the Santa Ana winds, and we got a couple of winds, obviously not a funnel cloud, but we got winds that were over 100 miles an hour, and they blew the roof off the house next door. Literally, it just took it and flipped it up and then over. I mean, almost in one piece, the whole freaking roof went off the house. So to stand there and to hear it and feel the wind and hear what happened, I have some appreciation of what you are going through, a little bit. How did you get interested in what was it about this force of nature that you wanted to follow?
Well, I've been obsessed with storm chasing and meteorology since probably about 5 years old. I was scared to death of thunder and lightning when I was really little, and then became obsessed with it. And once I got my driver's license, I realized I could drive after the storms. I didn't have to wait for the tornadoes to come to me anymore, and went to the University of Oklahoma to study meteorology. I was at OU for 17 straight years, continuously enrolled. So I was in college, storm chasing a long time, went all the way through grad school. And just love the science of it all. I love the storm chasing. I love getting my eyes on these beautiful storms, but also very powerful. And sadly, they do have a dark side that's left behind them, and the loss of life and property and the damage that they leave behind. But that's what we're trying to prevent as storm chasers. And the Never Stop Chasing movie captures exactly what it's like being in the back seat of the Dominator 3, our tornado interceptor. It's an armored tank-like vehicle that we use to do our science mission now. So we're driving right in to inside the tornado, the most powerful natural force on the planet, and we're excited to share that experience with everybody.
Never Stop Chasing is going to be opening nationwide on August 21st. I assume it'll be playing in all the major cities, Los Angeles. Ken, help me out. Los Angeles, New York, everywhere across the country.
Yes, we should be in most parts of the country. We're adding more theaters all the time, but yes, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Boston, and then all throughout Tornado Alley as well, and Florida.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see how the film plays in what you just described, Tornado Alley, who obviously it matters to them, these kind of storms coming through their communities. But in terms of just sort of, and we see it in the film, how engaged and invested people are in all aspects of this, the safety, the damage done, how they recover, how the communities. And I imagine this is a big part of the story outside of this documentary film, is how these communities come together after these storms and support one another. I mean, it feels like that in the film.
Yeah, definitely, and they're impacted by tornadoes here in Tornado Alley, the Great Plains, the Midwest, so much more frequently over the last 3 years, really since 2023, and they had over 200 tornadoes in the state of Illinois this year, and that's the second most ever for a state in recorded history. And Illinois is a much smaller state than Texas, but a lot of people get hammered out here by storms, severe weather, and tornadoes. And the movie captures how communities come together in the recovery effort, and how storm chasers a lot of times are the first on scene in those damaged paths, and have to help people in need immediately after the storm moves through. And the film definitely captures that dark side that the storms leave behind, but also the bright spot that is how they bounce back and recover, often more strong than before.
I'm going to ask an open-ended question to both of you, Reed, and as well as to Ken. Are you noticing, let's say over the last, let's put a time frame on it, the last 10 years? Is there something about the ferocity, the frequency of the storms in your part of the world that you're seeing that's noticeably different from the time prior to that? I know there's a big event that happened in your life in 2013, but I'm just in terms of what I described, ferocity, frequency, is there something different changing about these storms?
Yeah, but I think in 2023, starting in that season when we had the positive phase North Pacific Oscillation developed, that forces a train of troughs coming into North America, and it leads to a persistent tornado season. And it could be a decadal trend where every 10 years you'll get a change in phase in the Pacific that can impact severe weather downstream in North America. And we'll just have to see. Time will tell if we have 5 to 7 more years of these active, very persistent tornado seasons, or if it's a permanent trend, maybe toward more persistent and an expansion of Tornado Alley geographically as well. It seems like areas that aren't traditionally impacted have been getting hammered by severe weather. And it definitely feels like we're going deeper and deeper into the summer and into the fall and even the winter, chasing tornadoes now.
Does it matter if it's El Nino or La Nina? Does that matter at all in regards to what you experience, Reed? Oh, I think we might have.
Times it pushes that tornado activity into Dixie Alley and even east of the Great Plains. But when you have an El Nino, it seems to displace the jet stream southward during the summertime. And I think that's kind of what plays the role in leading to these persistent tornado seasons.
Well, Ken, I want to talk to you a little bit about the world outside of the Dominator, because we get into the science of, we get to talk to a lot of people over the course of the film who are deeply steeped in the technology as well as the science of it. That was great. That was a great part of the film. It was good. I mean, I just think for anyone, whether or not you're a thrill seeker or not, just to kind of hear these people talk about the science of. Let's talk a little bit about that. the
Yeah,
improvements.
absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the science component's very important. Obviously, it's important in Reed's life, and with the documentary, we follow the exploits of Reed out in the field, chasing storms and conducting science. But we also get to hear perspectives from really the top figures in the tornado scientist community, and it's very interesting because I think Reed, yeah, ever since we were in college, he was very controversial as a student, and some professors would be fans of him, and some professors would not. It's kind of interesting how it's carried, into this day, and I think what our movie does is it kind of shows a little bit of that friction between Reed's very innovative and how he's trying to advance science, how that isn't always accepted by the traditional academia. But what the movie does is it captures that footage of the tornado that Reed is contributing back directly to the science. And so it's like they're starting to come together. I'm very thankful for that, for the documentary, that it's actually directly contributing to the science. But it's Reed's drone footage and the sensors he shoots into tornadoes. I think everyone's kind of admitting that yes, Reed can help even traditional academia.
We saw some crazy tornadoes out there. The Greenfield, Iowa tornado, and EF4 plus tornado that we orbited with our drone, and we were chasing it by rental car up close to the powerful suction vortices. And it was also one of the most beautiful tornadoes, but one of the most violent that we've ever seen. And we used that drone data to estimate the surface winds inside of that tornado. And we collaborated with Dr. Josh Werman and his team with the Doppler on wheels, and really helped provide the final missing piece of the puzzle with the surface wind data, along with this 300 plus mile per hour wind measurement from the Doppler on wheels inside of that tornado.
You strike me as someone who's always been banging on the door for whatever it is in your life in terms of what you wanted to do, how you wanted to go about doing it. And I can imagine it was fairly rough for you to be on the receiving end of the criticisms that we hear in the film, and just sort of your approach, very different than a more buttoned down approach to this kind of science and work. And as Ken was mentioning, some of the things that you have done, you've been right there on the front line, and the footage that you provided. And I love the idea, just with the science of it, that you have on the ground. You can now compare it to the wind on the ground as opposed to in the cloud or the funnel or whatever you're describing. And that had to be hugely important data for the scientists doing this kind of work.
Yeah, the surface wind data is most important inside of a tornado because those are the winds that directly impact life. There's only been 5 or 6 real data points, real observations measured inside of a tornado at ground level in history. And we provided a couple of them with the Dominator, our tank-like ultimate tornado interceptor that's featured in the movie Never Stop Chasing. But that's what makes it so important, is that it supports our science mission. And with people going out to see the movie in Dolby theaters and feeling the tornado intercept process, feeling what it feels like inside of a violent tornado, what it sounds like with the incredible audio in there. It also supports our science mission and inspires future generations of storm chasers as well.
Yes, the reception to this film. So have you screened it? I'm sure it's a film festival run, etc. What's been the reaction to people as they come out of this experience of watching Never Stop Chasing?
I think the first experience is I think they're kind of overcome with the feeling of actually being next to a tornado. I think what Reed said about the sound, that is one thing that people come out and they're like, wow, that sound, is that what it sounds like? And it's so I think it's that visceral reaction because the amazing folks at Studio Post at Universal, Universal did Twisters, but I think this audio presentation, the Dolby Atmos audio, is not only the most true to life audio experience, but also like the most insane and impactful weather audio experience in movie history. I think it's that experience first, but also, there are a lot of emotional moments, and
Yeah.
emotional for me too. But it's always something to see people crying, coming away with, I think, grasping the stakes of this, the loss, how hard it is to do it, and the sacrifices you have to make, and then also the devastation that if you're doing this, you're almost called to help people who've been impacted and witness things that are hard to witness. And so I think people are surprised by that too.
Yeah, there is a lot of emotion in the film. There is a lot of the personal, the people, the crew, the people around Reed. They're all, I mean, it's obvious how committed they are, not only to the work, but also to Reed as well, in terms of his commitment to it is reflected in the people around him. So, Reed, congratulations on what you're doing. Stay safe. Swear to God, don't do anything crazier than what I saw in the movie. In the movie, I do appreciate it. And this I have to tell you, this is a new. I haven't watched a lot. I have seen Storm Chasers and film and work like that, but this is a very different level. This is a very different kind of window into the world that you guys are involved in. So
Twisters, but in real life. So that
yeah.
it provides the real life Twisters experience for the viewer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, thank you, Ken, for bringing it up. When it came out, because I went to the multiplex to watch it, what did that reinforce what you were already doing, or what impact did Twister have on you, Reed, when you were at that age?
Well, Twister came out when I was about 17, so I had already.
He knew he wanted to chase storms.
Yeah,
At that point, but it just, I'm sure, absolutely, it's an important movie for sure for all of us, that original Twister. And the great thing about Twisters was Glenn Powell's character.
He did. Go ahead.
Yeah, and now we may try to shut tornadoes down, just like that movie.
Go ahead, Ken. You were saying just real quick.
Oh, for Twisters, a new movie, Reed was talking about. Glenn Powell's character is based on Reed, so it's kind of an interesting, Twister. Reed enjoyed that when he was 17, but now Hollywood is basing movies on his life. So this finally audiences can see the real thing. They can see Reed for real.
Amen. Well, again, the film is called Never Stop Chasing. The director is Ken Cole, and we're fortunate and honored to have with us the subject of the film, Reed Timmer. Congratulations. Keep everyone you know safe. Do your work so that we can all stay a little bit safer because of the work you're doing, Reed. So thank you. And thank you, Ken, for your time and for your work. Thank you. You have been listening to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar, the place where you will hear from the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers. Please check out our previous interviews as well as upcoming interviews and special programming by going to cinemaphilepod.com. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, searchable under Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar. Until next time, thank you for listening.